Here we go, blasting into another brand new hour, another brand new week of the Steve Gruber Show. Glad to have you on board for the conversation. Remember, this show often results in extended periods of American pride, optimism, and uncontrollable enthusiasm for America's future. Yeah, kicking off the live broadcast and Real America's Voice and MTN networks and reaching a growing global audience. This is the Steve Gruber Show. It's a no panic zone. Glad you're here. Here are three big things you need to know this hour. Number one, the heat is on for much of the eastern half of the country, and New York City could set a record for June tomorrow if it reaches the forecast 102 degrees. It would break the record of 101. Number two, across the country, home prices continue to rise. That's now pushed those prices to all-time record highs. I guess it's good if you're selling, not too good if you're buying. And number three, here we are. I opened Friday's show with this question as a hypothetical. Do you support the United States joining the war against Iran? And if so, how far does that support go? Does it include bombing runs, guided missile strikes, yes or no? Well, as you certainly know by now, that is no longer a hypothetical question. It's a matter of fact. President Donald Trump unleashed the fury and the might of the United States military on Iran's nuclear ambitions, and it was something right out of Top Gun 2, it seems. You see, our boys in uniform with those B-2 stealth bombers and Navy submarines dropped a dozen bunker buster bombs on the reinforced Fordo site, buried 300 feet under a mountain, and fired 30 Tomahawk cruise missiles at Natanz and Isfahan. Here's United States Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, describing the mission.
Last night on the President's orders, U.S. Central Command, under the command of General Eric Kurilla, executed Operation Midnight Hammer, a deliberate and precise strike against 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. This was a complex and high-risk mission carried out with exceptional skill and discipline by our joint force. I want to thank every service member, planner, operator that made this mission possible. Their actions reflect the highest standards of the United States Armed Forces. This operation was designed to severely degrade Iran's nuclear weapons infrastructure. It was planned and executed across multiple domains and theaters with coordination that reflects our ability to project power globally with speed and precision at the time and place of our nation's choosing. This was a highly classified mission with very few people in Washington knowing the timing or nature of this plan.
Yeah, the stunning mission really underscored in the eyes of Iran and the world just how advanced our military can be when needed. In fact, Iran didn't even have time to blink in response. They had time to do nothing. Listen to this.
We are unaware of any shots fired at the package on the way out. Iran's fighters did not fly, and it appears that Iran's surface-to-air missile systems did not see us. Throughout the mission, we retained the element of surprise. In total, U.S. forces employed approximately 75 precision-guided weapons during this operation. This included, as the President stated last night, 14 30,000-pound GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrators, marking the first ever operational use of this weapon. I know that battle damage is of great interest. Final battle damage will take some time, but initial battle damage assessments indicate that all 3 sites sustained extremely severe damage and destruction.
It's incredible strength on a global scale. We can only hope it'll be the path to peace through strength. Kane delivered this message straight to the camera for anyone listening with the idea of doing us harm going forward. Pay attention.
Our forces remain on high alert and are fully postured to respond to any Iranian retaliation or proxy attacks, which would be an incredibly poor choice. We will defend ourselves.
Now, President Trump, our bold commander-in-chief, was the first to break the news, confirming the strikes on Truth Social, saying Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities are now completely and totally obliterated. For years, Iran's been thumbing its nose at us, enriching uranium to near weapons-grade levels, and now they've paid the price. The IAEA has been whining about Iran's lack of cooperation for ages. And Trump just sent a message. You don't mess with the United States. Death to America? Yeah, I don't think so. He delivered an address to the nation 10 o'clock Saturday night. You probably knew that. Something that would have been, by the way past Joe Biden's bedtime. And Trump reminded the world of this. Listen.
For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue.
Yeah. The president called for peace in a similar tone like that of General Kane. Here's that.
With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago.
He's exactly right, by the way. Exactly right. I can't overstate, I really can't, just how impressive this mission was. 37 hours those B-2s flew from Whiteman Air Force Base, Missouri. 150 aircraft in all, refueling stops in midair. All of that. The kind of chilling message it sends to terrorists around the world who have come to the conclusion that the U.S. is all bark and no bite. Well, hello. Top of the morning to you. And before you jump to the conclusion that Trump is just beating the war drums, I think Vice President J.D. Vance made an important point here. The U.S. showed remarkable restraint in this mission. We'll get to that in a moment, actually. I'm going to tell you this. 37 hours, 7 B-2s, 150 aircraft. The kind of coordination that took for the U.S. military to pull that off is absolutely incredible. You know, they pulled a decoy mission. They sent a squadron west. Then they slid these out to the east. 18 hours in each direction. Can you imagine? It's a remarkable mission. Be proud of the United States military today. We did not get in a war. We took out targets of a country that said they would deliver nuclear warheads to you and to I. It's out. It's over. We'll take a break. We'll hear from J.D. Vance and much more after the break. Nice to see you. Remember, follow me on Twitter, Facebook. It's live on YouTube every day. Back in a moment. All right, let's get back to the conversation about this remarkable mission pulled off by the United States over the weekend. Here is J.D. Vance.
What we're prepared for is if they attack us in a maximal direction, first of all, we have got maximum defensive posture. I think that we're going to be able to defend as many of our people as possible. And of course, I'd encourage Americans to pray for our guys in the Middle East because, yes, they are under a significant amount of duress and a significant amount of threat right now. But then, of course, John, if the Iranians attack us, they're going to be met with overwhelming force. And I don't think the president could be clear about this. If you look at what we did yesterday, John, we did not attack the nation of Iran. We did not attack any civilian targets. We didn't even attack military targets outside of the 3 nuclear weapons facilities that we thought were important to accomplish our goal of preventing Iran from having a nuclear weapon. So how Iran responds, I think, is ultimately the ball is in their court. But if you look at what we did, it was very precise, very narrowly tailored to our objective. And if the Iranians decide to expand this, then that's ultimately their decision, and the President of the United States will respond in kind.
And there you have that. Now, my bigger concern going forward isn't Iran. Because don't think this is only about Iran. This is a global chess game, and China's got skin in this game, and a lot of it. The strike hit those in Beijing, too. China and Iran aren't just buddies. You see, they're economically joined at the hip. It's all about that black gold, oil. China's the biggest buyer of Iran-sanctioned crude. They purchased 90% of the country's oil exports, which is about 25% of the oil used in China. Think about that. It's also nearly 20% of Iran's GDP flowing straight into Tehran's coffers. Since they signed that 25-year comprehensive strategic partnership in 2021, China has been Iran's lifeline, helping them dodge U.S. sanctions with shady banking tricks and bartering deals, and yes, moving oil on the black market. Iran's oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz, 20% of the world's oil trade. China gets over 40% of its total crude from the Middle East, with Iran as its key supplier. And now, Iran has ordered the Strait of Hormuz to be closed. When we hit Iran's nuclear sites, we didn't just cripple their bomb-making dreams. We sent a shockwave through China's energy security, too. Now, why does this matter? Well, because China's economy is already wobbling. Trade wars, tariffs, and domestic production slowdowns are already hitting them hard. Losing access to cheap Iranian oil could spike their energy costs, choke their factories, and make Xi Jinping and his regime look weak. And let me tell you, folks, a desperate China is a dangerous China, a very dangerous China. They've got the capability to hit back. I'm not talking about some half-baked missile show. I'm talking about our power grid, for one. It's our Achilles heel. They know it. China's been probing our infrastructure for years, planting malware in our electrical systems, water plants, and telecom networks. A 2024 FBI report warned that Chinese hackers have pre-positioned tools for disruptive or destructive cyber attacks. That's a quote, against U.S. critical infrastructure. If Xi feels cornered, he could greenlight a cyber attack to plunge our cities into darkness, disrupt our markets, sow chaos. Imagine, no power for weeks, hospitals shut down, your food spoils, ATMs don't work. That's the kind of retaliation we need to be ready for. If you don't have a generator now, probably is a good time to think about getting one. Word on the street is also that Xi Jinping's health is going south. Rumors have been swirling on X and in back channels that the guy's got serious health issues. Maybe he even suffered a stroke in the last year or so. He's been looking frail at public events, and his grip on power, it's getting shakier. A sick leader with a bruised ego is a recipe for a bad decision or two. On top of that, the People's Liberation Army is in the middle of a massive restructuring. She's purging generals, shuffling commands, and trying to make the PLA leaner and meaner, but it's causing chaos in the ranks. A 2025 report from the Carnegie Endowment noted China's military modernization is hitting snags, logistical bottlenecks, corruption, you name it. So, an unstable Xi, a disorganized PLA, and a hit to their oil supply. That's a powder keg, folks. It could make Xi lash out to save face. So far, China's only gone so far as to condemn the attacks, but will they go further? Here's Mike Pompeo. Like him or not, he's got this one dialed in. Listen.
And we should think, too, the Chinese are the primary purchaser of Iranian crude oil. When we talk about whether they might decide to close the Strait of Hormuz, the most directly and most immediately impacted will be the Chinese economy, not Western economies. And so I think the Chinese picked a loser here. I think Xi Jinping woke up today recognizing that he had picked the loser. And I am not surprised that neither he nor Vladimir Putin in Russia have actually come to the assistance of a nation that they promised they had a deep, forever partnership with. And they have just been no-shows as Iran has been decimated.
Now, I don't think we should count China out too soon. We've no idea what they're planning. I agree that China partnered with a loser in picking Iran, but I don't assume that China is going to accept that loss peacefully. Iran's nuclear program was a threat, no question. And Trump did what weak-kneed Biden could never, take a stand and take it out. But will China sit idly by while their oil source gets squeezed down? Probably not. They've got the motive and the means to hit our grid. And with Xi's health rumors and the PLA shakeup, he might just be reckless enough to try it. My hope is that after a show of domination like this, he wouldn't dare. But this is why we need Trump's America First policies more than ever. strong borders, a beefed-up military, and a cyber defense that can stop China's hackers cold. We can't let the globalists in D.C. or the CCP in Beijing push us around. It's time to rally behind our president, secure our grid, and show the world that America's back and stronger than ever. While we're on the subject of cybersecurity, did you know that American homeowners nationwide have $32 trillion in equity? Cyber criminals are targeting it right now with a growing scam the FBI calls house stealing. House alarms, doorbell cameras, they won't work against these thieves because they're after your equity. If your title isn't being monitored, scammers can transfer the title of your home into their name, take loans against it, or even sell it behind your back, and you don't even know what's happened until those nasty grams show up in your mailbox. So, Home Title Lock. Get a free title history report and a 30-day free trial of triple lock protection today by going to HometitleLock.com. Use the promo code Gruber. HometitleLock.com, promo code Gruber. Get on your way to peace of mind and a good night's sleep. I'll take a break and be right back. Welcome to it.